Whenever.
Okay. Imagine this. It's about 10:25 a.m. You just pull into Fullerton's parking lot. You're running late for your Speech 100 class, and you see the perfect parking spot right next to the elevator. All of a sudden, this car zooms around the corner, this huge old truck, and it takes your parking spot, just like that from you. Automatically, in your head, you mark that guy as your mortal enemy. You want to get back at him. Nothing's going to be the same until you get revenge. Maybe a month later, 2 weeks later, the end of the semester, you never know. You see that exact truck again, you get a chance to cut them off, you do it. Well, Miller once said, it's far easier to forgive an enemy after you've gotten even with them. It's my belief, and I hope it's everybody's belief, that that's completely true. Nothing's ever going to be the same when you make an enemy until you retaliate. And this applies to many aspects of life. It could apply to a fighting aspect, a sport aspect, and possibly a blackmail aspect. In the fighting aspect, it could be, UFC cage fighting, it could be street fighting, it could be anything that you're doing. If you're in a fight with someone, say you get your butt kicked, you're knocked out on the floor cold, everyone sees, you're going to remember that, and nothing's going to be the same until you meet up with the exact same person again, and you have the opportunity to fight them until you win. That guy is going to be your enemy until you can beat him, until you've gotten even with him in a sense. When it comes to sports, personally, I know I played softball. As a competitive softball player, we always had our rivals. One of our rival teams, back and forth, they'd beat us, I'd be pissed. Like, I'd want a rematch with them. I'd have to wait maybe a month, maybe 2 months, but nothing would ever be the same until I beat them again. They were my enemy, but enemies should also be friends. My enemy until, in that sporting aspect, that competition sense, I beat them again. When it comes to blackmail, say you've had a friend, they could have been your best friend for years, and then they turn on you one day. They blackmail you, maybe they rat your parents out, like, oh, did you know, they weren't at school that day, or they went to that party and did that and that. You get in trouble from your parents. From friend to enemy in like 1 second flat, and then as good-natured people we are, we always want to get back at them, Such kind-hearted people, we, maybe get the worst of our side, we egg their car, we do something, it could be something small to something big, but you know what, they're going to be our enemy, and we're going to feel far better about them being our enemy when we get back at them. You'll laugh at them next time you say, did you know that scratch in your car was from me? Something like that. So, all in all, when it comes to enemies, when it comes to friends, when it comes to anything, it's far easier to forgive your enemy. I could be friends with that person again once I've gone back at them. When it comes to sports, when it comes to blackmail, fighting, anything, it's far easier to forgive an enemy after you've gotten even with him. So, next time you have an enemy, maybe you don't want them to be your enemy anymore, so just get back to them and then everything will be fine again.
Like 30 seconds.
Look, I trust it.
All right, Nicole, I think the introduction works pretty well. You've got a nice visualization. You've got a good transition to the quote and the thesis. There's a strong layout of what you're going to be talking about. The content, except for the first example where you're talking about being on the team and always wanting to have a quick rematch with the other team if you lost to them, all the examples remain very hypothetical, and as a result, I don't think they have the same degree of interest. Even though you had a good hypothetical in the introduction, I think it sounds a little redundant when you get to those other points later on. But it's structured clearly and easy to follow. You project your voice pretty well. I'm not sure if it's the gum or the tongue piercing or what's going on there, but I get a clicking and a smacking sound, so you're going to have to work on that a little bit. It's paced pretty well. Gestures, some of the gestures look nervous rather than purposeful. I think that your face is pretty expressive. You look down quite a bit, and generally you're not looking at the audience. You look out, and you look up, and you look around, but you're not usually engaging us. And I think when you look at the video, you'll notice that that's kind of noticeable. Your anxiety seems to be coming out in your body movement. You're not pacing a lot, but you are shifting your weight an awful substantial amount. It's back and forth, back and forth. I thought you got a little bit better as you went on, and in fact, probably the middle of the speech you're in good shape, but then toward the end there's a little bit more of that. At the end of the speech, I thought you had a pretty clear exit line. I didn't think it was as smooth an exit with the point that you were making earlier, but it was effective, and we knew that you were done, so that's fine. Thank you.